Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. If it's your first time here, my name is Robin Shaw and I'm a Canadian teacher and I teach live a few days a week. You can see my schedule there. Today is Monday, it's English Q&A, so if you guys got any English questions, start preparing your questions now, please. And while you guys are preparing your questions, I'm just going to see who's in the chat room tonight. And I can see Diallo's here, and Carrie, and Fan Nui, and Prakar. Hello, welcome. Oh, and Grace is here. And Grace has a question: is mice setting find? I'm sorry, Grace, that doesn't make sense to me. Is mice setting find? Charles, Dagon, Andrade de Paulo. Oh, the mic setting. I forgot the mic. There we go. The last thing I had to set up was the mic. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let's hear it. Hello, EM Hong. Subtitled movie clips. Your English is pretty good. All right, so it's English Q&A, guys. Let's get those questions. If you got any questions, let's get started. If you don't have questions, then I'll end the live stream. Yeah, you missed a typo. Mike. So Mike can just M-I-C. And your question had two mistakes. That's why I was confused. Is, well, the mic setting fine? So you made a common mistake, Grace. You mixed up fine and find. Don't mix up those words again. Very different words. Mohammed, hello. Yoza, hello. Win, hello. And Carrie says she sent me an email for the writing class tomorrow. I got emails from Win, and let's just do a quick check of who sent me homework. Yeah, I see your homework, Carrie. Okay. Something about a guy. Ziad, hello. Welcome, welcome. So this is English Q&A. This show cannot work unless you guys ask some questions. Where are we? Okay. Yoza's from Holland. Wow. Welcome, Yoza from Holland. And do you have a YouTube page or YouTube channel? I'm checking Yoza. Oh. Every week, 2 or 3 videos. What kind of videos do you make, Yoza? I'm looking at Yoza's channel. And it's a gaming channel. I don't play very many I don't play any computer games. All right, Jihan, hello. Byung-woo, I look handsome every day. Anfal, okay. Halifa, it's English Q&A. So anyone, latecomers, you got to ask questions, any English question, and I'll try to help you out. Hassan, we really miss you in the WhatsApp English speaking group. Hassan, why do you miss me? I'm here almost every night on the live stream. You're free to come talk. have you Ziad, have you eaten yet? Have you eaten today? Have you eaten today? Or did you have dinner? Evelyn Chang from China. Which part of China are you from, Evelyn? Hello, Fanny. Mohammed. When do we have grammar class? The schedule's right there. Tomorrow, grammar. Sunday, grammar. There's 2 grammar classes a week. Lauren, hello. Okay, so subtitle movie clips. In the last lesson, you typed the sentence, somebody pay for the food, or something similar. Yeah. I think it's better to add a comma after the word somebody in order not to confuse the reader. Isn't it? It depends on how that is said. Somebody pay for the food. If there's a pause, certainly a comma, but if someone's excited, somebody pay for the food. We don't, the rule, yeah, it could work better with a comma, but there's no rule that it needs a comma. But certainly with somebody, everybody, I don't think we're using very many commas when we're using those expressions. Let's see. Like somebody, anybody, nobody, everybody. Usually we're not using those with commas. We can, but usually we're not. Florin, I don't speak English as often before. That's too bad. Have you had dinner yet? Yes, I've eaten dinner. Wilson, have you flown in a balloon? Ballon, you just wrote ballon. You got to write balloon. Nope, I've never been in a balloon. Win, what does time word put between helping and main verb in the sentence? The U.S. will, from Monday, target buyers. That would be a subordinate clause. And you would put a comma. Like that. Is that what you're talking about? Tomorrow we're going to learn simple past. No, you're going to learn present continuous. Did you get dinner? Nope, that is wrong. I told you there's many ways. Have you had dinner? Like Fanny says, have you eaten dinner? What should I do when I don't understand on what they're saying and weak on listening to? On what who is saying? Oh, you guys have to, everyone's questions are very confusing tonight. Try to get very clear questions. Part of the learning process is getting your question clear, okay? So I can understand. I want to help you, but if I can't understand exactly what you're asking, I can't really help you. Carrie, can you teach us about wood on Sunday? Probably not. Sorry, Carrie, but if you're going, modals are really, really hard to teach by live stream. I'll think about it, Carrie. Grace, I'm going to pop. I need the context. It sounds like an idiom, but I need the context. It could mean many, many things. I'm not sure what it means, and I need to know the context, but it sounds like an idiom. And Russian guy, tell me how to quickly learn to speak English. Oh, I'm not the teacher that promised you to learn English in 3 months. I'm the real teacher that tells you it takes time and effort every day. There is no lazy way to learn English. So there's no quick way. It takes time and effort, years of time and effort. If you want to be fluent, that's going to take 3-4 hours every day for years to be fluent. Wilson, have you eaten weird food? Yes, I've had a lot of weird food in my life. Usually the weirdest food I have eaten has been in China. So all the Chinese people watching now, yeah, I've had a lot of insects and pigeon. I guess I had pigeon in China. Driss, hello, welcome back. I ate too much. I am too full. I'm going to pop. Yep, that would be an idiom. Karamat, hello. Hello, David. Florin, I have problems applying your pieces of advice when it comes to learning a language. What can I do, Florin? Florin, you can be like everyone else and just look for a teacher that gives the easy advice. Win, sir, I'm confused about half in the sentence. Is it plural? Around half of its members are in their 30s. Well, no, the members, around half are, yeah, well, half of people is still people. So if you have 10 people and you take half, that's 5 people. That's still plural. Yes, Grace, insects. Karamat, what's the difference between how are you and how have you been? Well, how are you is just a basic greeting. You can say that to anybody. You can say that to a stranger. But how have you been? You're going to use that only for your friends and family. And how have you been is a little more sincere. It's kind of more sincerely asking someone, how are you? How are you is kind of like a hi. We don't really need the answer. But how have you been? Probably someone expects an answer. But you're only going to ask your friends and family, how have you been? Wilson, I have been learning English for a long time, more than 1,000 hours, and I continue learning, nonstop learning. Yeah, good for you. Oh, Alonzo, you want me to call you Alonzo. Carrie, sometimes I can't believe in myself. Do you believe in yourself, Robin? Yes, I'm a very confident person. So I hope, Carrie, you can be more confident in the future. But I got confident as I get older. So when I was younger, of course, I was not very confident, but now I'm very confident. I believe in myself. Win, do 30s mean 30 to 39? That is correct, Win. About articles, and an. Is it an hour? Yes, it's an hour. The H is silent. And it's a university exam. Because, Ziad, when you were learning about articles, your teacher taught you that a comes before a consonant and an comes before a vowel. But that's wrong. The teacher Well, the teacher was doing the right thing to tell you that when you were first studying English. But the rule is ah comes before a consonant sound. Not a consonant. It comes before a consonant sound, and an comes before a vowel sound. Not a vowel. It comes before a vowel sound. So an hour, that starts with a vowel sound. And a university starts with a consonant sound. So don't look at the letters. You gotta listen for the sounds to know if it's an or ah. Khalifa, could we learn English and become fluent only by chatting with friends? Yes, if your friends are native English speakers. Again, you guys, you have to understand when you say the word fluent. What does fluent mean? Well, fluent means you are almost pretty much perfect at speaking English. If you want to be perfect at speaking English, you got to talk to native speakers. But I don't think anybody here needs to be fluent. You guys, you don't need to be fluent if you're not living in America or the UK or Australia. I would never advise someone to try and be fluent. You're wasting your time. You don't need to be fluent. Lower advanced. That's a more practical goal for most people, and they should try to get lower advanced, which means, there's a lot of things you don't need to know. You don't need to know slang, and a large portion of idioms you don't really need to know. And you don't really need to watch Hollywood movies without subtitles. So as a teacher, I want to push men and women, my students, to more practical reasons to study English, to get a better job, maybe emigrate, but to watch, I want to be fluent so I could watch a Hollywood movie without subtitles. That's not really a practical goal, and that's, are you going to invest 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 hours of studying just so you could watch a movie without subtitles? I would advise that person, you don't really need English if your goal is to watch movies. So you don't need to be fluent unless if you're living in America or the UK or whatever. Yeah, you should try to get your fluency. But if you don't plan to go there, or you're just going there for a couple of years and then you're going back to your country, lower advanced. That's pretty much enough. All right. EM, Hong, what's the difference between sincere and genuine? They're, in my context, they're the same thing. Vukasin Vukovic. Why does "here you are" means respect from giving and your location is there? I don't understand. I don't understand your question. You don't even have a question mark, Vukasin. Why does "here you are" means respect? It doesn't mean respect. It's just an expression. Here you are. It's the same thing. Here, take my marker. Here you are. If I got the wrong meaning, if you want it to mean another meaning, let me know. Core values. Which one is correct? The one with the hyphen or the without the hyphen? I think I say without the hyphen. Core values doesn't have a hyphen. Yeah, no hyphen. Okay, I'm a little bit behind. I'll catch up, guys. Florin, I know an advice that I can apply it easily. That advice is to stop continuing learning German from textbooks after I convert. Yeah, stop the textbooks, Florin. Just start speaking. Casio, hello. Grace, I'm about 4 minutes behind. The adults in the house kick for groceries and mortgage. Don't understand that. It doesn't mean about kick. No, I don't understand. Your sentence doesn't make sense. Kick. Oh, I think you. No, the expression is kick in. The idiom kick in. Kick in would mean each person gives money. So they kick in for groceries and mortgage. So that in is very important. If you don't have that in, it just means kick. Sir, I saw the time word without comma in 2 sentences. 2 sentences today. North Dakota has... where did you see that? Did a native speaker write that? Where did you see that? Because that looks really strange. Nujumuddin, hello. Is accent very important to speaking English? No, accent is zero important. It has no value unless you're living in the country. If you're living in the country that uses an accent, you should try to use that accent too. Danya, hello. Fenny. How about how are you doing and how have you been? Which one is sincere? Probably how have you been? From Netherlands. Fanny, where were you? Should I add time in that sentence or just where were you? Is it correct? Where were you? Yeah, where were you? That's enough. Where were you? And Florence says, I had practical reasons to know English. You said had, which means you don't have practical reasons now. So did you make a mistake, Florin? You wanted to say I have or I had. If you had, that means you don't have reasons now. Ziad, how can I speak with Americans despite I speak British accent? Is that... No, that doesn't make a problem. British accent never makes a problem, Ziad. No, don't worry about that, Ziad. Grace, I appreciate that, or I am appreciative of that. Both the same. So, yeah, one's a verb and one's an adjective. They're the same. Which is more, I appreciate. I think they're the same. I don't want to say one is more natural. I appreciate. Maybe the verb. I appreciate that. Dris, concerning subordinate clause in an concerning subordinate clause is incomplete sentence. A sentence that have no sense by itself. For example, if you tell someone when I was a child, then stop, the listener will wait for it to add something. Oh, Dris. Is this a question? Are you? I'm not sure if you're asking a question or you're trying to make just a statement, Dris. And your example there, if you tell someone when I was a child, nobody would stop. So I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Dris. Try again. Angel, how do I pronounce these two words? They have two pronunciations. So it's either or either and neither and neither. Both are okay. Either, either, neither, neither. Diallo, I was reading a book and I came across a hyphen with core value, so I was a bit confused. That's why I'm asking. Well, what was the word before core value and what was the word after core value? That will help me to explain So sometimes you guys have questions and you're saying, what's this? But I need to know what's before and what's after to tell you exactly what's that. There's definitely one or two differences in the sentence. What does mean one or two differences? There's definitely one or two differences. In this sentence, what does mean one or two differences? Well, you would say that if I said what's different, you could say, well, there's definitely at least one or two differences between these markers. So you're talking about differences as a noun. So there are at least one or two differences between these markers. Yam Hong, what is the difference between grab? A grab is just like this. You grab something. Seize is a very formal expression where the bank or the police seize. They take something. So the bank, maybe you forgot to pay your mortgage, your house loan, and they seize your house. They take it. And maybe you have a gun and the police are going to take that gun. They're going to seize it. So very formal way of someone has to take something. Seize. Grace, it's not kick for, it's kick in. Well, Grace, the native speaker probably said kick in for, but you didn't hear the in. Because native speaker is not going to make a mistake with that one. So I'm going to say, Grace, no. You're asking me to choose, Grace. Did the native speaker make a mistake in their speaking, or did you make a mistake in your listening? And I'm going to, sorry, Grace, I'm going to say maybe they said it so fast or something, kicking for, that maybe you didn't hear the kick in. Because a native speaker shouldn't say kick for. That's really wrong. Sir, which one should I use more? On 8th of April 2019 at 20:30 Myanmar time, or on 8th of April in 2000? The first one. If we're just writing a date, we don't put the preposition in. We would just put comma 2019. Karamat. Today is your paper, or today you have a paper. What do you mean by paper? Newspaper? A report? I'm not sure what you mean by paper, but the first one is wrong, and maybe the second one is right, but I can't answer. I don't know what you mean by paper. In Canada, if a child lives even over 20, Oh, your grammar's not so good there, Grace. Let me fix it up. I'm going to sneeze. I'm allergic to your questions. In Canada, comma, why? You have a capital I. No, if a child lives even, no, get that, over 20. Over 20s, no. Why do you say if a child lives over 20? Most children live over 20. If a child, and Grace, there's so many problems with your statement, because if you're over 20, you're not a child. So if a person is in their 20s, I'm not sure that, and do they have to kick in? I'm not sure what your question is, Grace. So yeah, people should kick in always. Halifa, which one is right? Do you miss me? Did you miss me? Well, both of those are correct. If you're calling someone or writing an email, you're not face to face. Probably you would ask, "Do you miss me?" You're not face to face. So calling or email or chat. But if you meet face to face, you would probably say, "Did you miss me?" Evelyn, what's the difference between anyway and anyways? So Evelyn, that's a good question. Anyways, I think both of them are okay. Anyways is slang. I think the proper one, the formal one is anyway, but a lot of native speakers are going to use anyways for speaking. All right, Florin wants to learn German because of practical reason. What is that practical reason? Angel, Robin, is everyone plural or is singular? So if you're making a sentence, everyone is here. So everyone would be a group of people, but everyone, we're going to use it like just one unit. So we're not going to say everyone are here. No, everyone, one group is here. So yeah, if I hadn't heard my father advice is uncountable. You can only use advice. No, okay, so here, I'll fix that up, Ziad. If I hadn't heard my father's advice, need a comma, I would have been another person. And I'm going to change hadn't heard. If I hadn't listened to, if I hadn't listened to my father's advice, I would have been a different person. This is what how a native speaker would express it, Ziad. Driss. Oh, it's a statement, okay? Can you fix up that statement, Driss? Yam hong is but and yet used the same. Lam hong. Oh, that's an L? Well, okay, lamb. So that can be I or L. Lam hong. Okay. Lamb. But and yet are very different. But is going in the yet is talking about time. All right, you haven't done something yet. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Okay, so that's talking about time. And but is in the middle of a sentence, and here's the first statement, and the next statement, it's going to be a conjunction. It's going to join the two statements, and there's something in those statements don't match. So there's lamb, they're very different. Fanny, I knew the sentence from Ellen Show with Emma Watson. I think that's like collocation. There's definitely one or two differences that I've noticed. Yeah. Yeah, that's not collocation. That's just an expression. There's definitely, well, yeah, it would be collocation because we would say always one or two. We wouldn't say one or two or three. We just say one or two differences that I noticed. What was she talking about, Fanny? That would help me if you gave me more information. All right. I mean, in Canada, if a person still lives with their parents after they've grown enough to be independent, the person has to kick in for helping parents. No. Usually people are only, not everyone, I'm generalizing, but usually if people are living with their parents, they don't have money to kick in for something. So living with parents means it's an emergency situation, you have no money, because everyone doesn't want to live with parents. So yeah, I'm sure there's some people that kick in when they live at home, but for the most part, the children are going to move away. They don't want to live with their parents. If they have to live with their parents, they have a financial emergency. Win, what does 4 plus plus mean in the sentence? The MiG-29 plane is 4 plus plus generation multi-role supersonic fighter. Are you getting me to edit top secret government files on a live stream? I don't know what the 4 plus plus means. I'll just take a quick look. I'm not sure. No, I don't know what that means, and I can't find it. When 4 plus plus generation, that could just be the name of the generation. Kuramat, or advice, advise. Those are very different. Advice is noun. Advise is the verb. Advice, advise. So, and then you have practice and practice. The first practice is American spelling, and the second practice is British spelling. Those are pronounced the same, but advice and advice and advise, those are very different. Sir, you passed 3 questions. Sorry. Yacht. 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 Yeah, that's a tricky word, Win. Yacht. 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 Where's the other questions? That's all I see, Win. Robin, do you think learning a foreign language by itself helps? Yeah, learning a foreign language keeps our brain active. It makes your brain, learning a foreign language helps your brain stay. It's good for when you age. Learning a foreign language and reading a foreign language when you're 60 is really good for the brain. So Florin, yeah, learning, you want to learn languages, but you don't want to waste most of your life. You got to balance your life. Sometime learning a language, sometime watching TV. Karamat Shah, what is connotation? Connotation means, let's see. If I said, let me get in. See, I got to think of an example. I'm terrible at examples. Let me get an example. It's better. So in connotation, that would be a good grammar lesson. Connotation. I'm gonna write that down because that's very important to understanding English. So if I wrote the sentence, he is childlike. So we have a word childlike, and what are the connotations of that? So in this case, is childlike, is that a negative or a positive statement? So the connotations in this case, a native speaker knows right away if this is a positive or negative statement. Now, is that positive or is negative? If I said he is childlike, is that a compliment that that person is still fresh, full of life, like a child? Or is that negative, meaning he's not mature enough? So the connotation means that word has more meaning that a native speaker would be able to understand if it's positive or negative. So what do you guys think? He is childlike. Is that positive or negative? Grace, why? Koreans live with their parents a lot and they don't pay even they earn money. Koreans are not mature at the same level as Western people at the age of 18. Koreans at age 18 and Western people at age 18, the maturity level is very, very different. Westerners aged 18, they're very mature, very independent, they're ready to go out. Koreans, they're still playing computer games in the PC room until they're 25. Kuramat, what you say or what do you say? Both of those are wrong. What did you say? Is that the what did you say? What did you say? Is that what you're trying to ask? If I hadn't talked to my friend, he would have been killed. Is that a correct? Well, that's not a question. That's a statement. If I hadn't talked to my friend, he would have been killed. That is a correct statement. Halifa, is it true we must use more advanced vocabularies to sound like a native? No, not at all. Why can't just use normal words? Yeah. Well, view and scenery. Scenery is not a big word. Big, huge. Those are, elated is a big word. Elated is not so common. No, you don't have to use big words to sound like a native speaker. Most native speakers are not using big words. You must visit America and you'll quickly realize that nobody's using too big of a word. Or Canada or the UK. Kuramat. I did it myself or I did it on my own. Those are the same thing. Those are the same things. Win. Sir, we live with our parents through the whole life here. Different culture. Hamara, hello. So Koreans are childlike? No. Koreans are not childlike. Kareem, I want a native speaker for conversation over WhatsApp to improve my language fluency. Kareem, you and millions of other people around the world want that. Millions of people want the native speaker. Oh, just Chilmar. Sir, what is the difference between me and I? Well, they mean the same thing. They're referring to you. If you want to get technical, I think I is a subject and me is the object. Like talk to me. I love you. Isa, hello teacher. I'm late, so what's the topic today? We're only asking questions. Today is the Q&A, so if you have any questions, every Monday I'll answer. Evelyn, you say that reading is a great method, so keep silence or read loudly will be more useful. Thank you. Most of your reading should be silent. Being fluent in English is not just about speaking. It starts in the brain. Your brain is understanding English and the grammar and the vocabulary before you even speak. So reading helps you with that. Certainly trying to read loudly, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes would be useful, but you want to improve your reading speed. Speaking and reading would make you slow. I want you to read very fast. So sometimes doing that, Evelyn, would be good. Reading, it's called reading out loud. And I do that every night on the live stream because I'm reading your comments and I'm usually reading out loud. And my English is improving every night. Now, we don't, Grace, have you had a dinner? No, we cut out the ah. If we put in the ah, you wanted to know if it's a special dinner. Have you had a, we might say, have you had a dinner party? But we wouldn't say, have you had a dinner? Have you had a dinner date? So something after dinner, we would put a ah, but just dinner. No, only have you had dinner? Grace, you are very mature. Florin, I want to learn foreign languages more easily. You and millions of people. Yeah, I understand, Florin. It's not an easy thing. I'm about 3 minutes behind. Kuramat. Some English teachers on YouTube say that learning grammar in detail is not good for learning English. I agree. It can confuse you. Yeah, I agree. Now, learning grammar, so you have to understand how your brain works. Your brain looks for patterns. So, if I go, here, wait, I gotta do this correctly. If I go, wait, sorry. If I go, do, doot, do, doot, do. Your brain knows the next sound. It found the pattern, okay? So, I was making a noise, a musical noise. Do you need to know how to read music? Do you need to know what note I was saying? Do you need to know any of that to know the pattern? So some students, they want to learn music in detail. They want to learn how to read sheet music. They want to learn all that. But that doesn't help them to learn the pattern. Do, doot, do, doot, do. So studying language is the same. You have to give you got to give a lot of exposure to grammar, and your brain will learn the pattern. Now, if I just go, do, you don't know the next sound. You haven't heard it before. So if you listen to do, doot, do, doot, do, doot, if you listen to that 100 times, your brain would master that pattern. You don't have to study music. You don't have to study how to read music. You don't have to study the different notes Just let your brain get the pattern. So the same, I would say, is with grammar. The grammar helps you understand the language like a teacher, but it doesn't help you get that pattern. What's going to help you get that pattern is exposure. Lots of listening, lots of reading. Your brain will get the pattern naturally. Naturally. Like I say, if you read one page in a book and you study that page in detail for 1 week, and then you mastered that one page, you understand the grammar, you understand the vocabulary. It's such a waste of time, because in 1 week you could have read 100 pages and your level would have been greater. Sorry, I'm speaking too much on that. Fenny, I think not all native speakers know all expressions. Yeah, I don't know everything, so I'm worried about what I learned. Then I practice with native. They will not know anything what I'm saying. Well, there's a basic English, international English that all native speakers understand. And I think native speakers are trained that when we encounter something we don't understand, we have the language skills to guess what that means. Excuse me. So if I talk to an Australian and some Australian is telling me a story, and he puts some strange slang in his story, my brain is getting, I don't know that slang. It might be the first time I heard it, but my brain will have a good guess of what it means. But not all native speakers know all expressions. People are always telling me idioms and slang that I don't know. Ziad, what does thanks in advance mean? So you thank someone before they help you. So Ziad, I need to borrow $10. Please send $10 to my PayPal. Thanks in advance. So you didn't send the money yet, but I said thanks in advance before you sent the money. Anfal, what is the difference between English and British? What do you mean British? You mean British? Well, British is English. So what's the difference between English and British languages? That's all English, Anfal. I'm not sure what you mean. What's the difference between the different Englishes? Slang? He has been doing business for since 2000, which one do I use? So I need more information. Both of those are possible. He has been doing business since 2000. Means he started in the year 2000 and he's still doing it. If you said he had been doing business since 2000, that could mean something else, like he's not doing that business anymore. So both of them are possible, but I would need to see the sentences or the more information to give you a better answer. Fanny, not only native, if I'm having conversations with people in advanced English, they also don't know and uncommon. Yeah. Someone mentioned elated earlier as a big word. There's a lot of native speakers that don't know the word elated. So if you go to America, Canada, and you just talk to general people, there's a basic English language, but of course everyday people, they hear new expressions they never heard about, or they learn vocabulary they never heard about. I work with a British teacher at my school, and he's about 57 years old, and he's always using expressions and new vocabulary that I've never heard before. Nargis, hello. All right, I lost my spot. Oh, Grace, I'm listening to your singing. Have you been to karaoke in Korea? Have you sang in there? Yeah, I went to karaoke about 20 years ago. Carrie, I haven't read whether I should read. I haven't decided, ed, whether I should read English books or memorize English books. Well, certainly, Carrie, you should never memorize anything. Just keep reading. Remember, quantity is better than quality. Read a lot. Do not memorize. Just keep reading. I don't know what's my problem. I have been in Ireland more than 15 years, but my English is not improving. What can I do? Where's your question mark? You have no question mark. Is that a question? Questions need question marks. There's lots of people that live in foreign countries that do not learn the language of the country. I lived in Korea 20 years. I'm not fluent in Korean. So I think you communicate well. You must communicate well in Ireland. Naturally, I would need to know more about your situation. But I think you must be at a high level or medium level. I don't know, Isa. But yeah, there's people that there's like a lot of immigrants in Canada and the US. They live there 30, 40 years and they still don't speak English. So what can you do? Well, Isa, first is to be aware of the problem. And second, I would suggest that you try to make more Irish friends. Not people from other countries, but Irish friends. Driss, I think connotation is about those things related to a certain word. For example, the color white has relation with purity. Yep, you're right. Of the word flower, his connotation means love. Yes, you're right. The color red means danger. Yep, it's red. That's right. So yeah, the connotation, there's some extra feeling people get when they see a word. Excuse me. I have been taking breaks here and there. Here and there. You spelled here differently the second time. Here and there, which I think that's more of just an expression, not an idiom, just a way that a native speaker would express. Here and there could mean now and again. So just to express, or also from time to time. All of these would have a similar meaning. Just Chilmer, why are Australian accents harder to understand? Just Chilmer, probably because nobody's teaching Australian accent, unless you have an Australian teacher. Usually in Korea, when a teacher comes from Australia or New Zealand, the private schools here tell them, try to speak with an American accent. So a lot of friends of mine, even they're from Australia, their bosses keep telling them, hey, don't use Australian accent. Try to use clear American accent. Bye, Florin. Should we imitate native English speakers, or should we speak English the way we naturally speak? Oh, that's a difficult question, Karamat. It comes down to pronunciation. Well, two things. This is all that matters about English. Two things. The first thing is it's a language, therefore it's used as communication. I have information and I want to give you that information. That's language. That's it. I have information. I want to give you that information. So, first thing, are you giving that information? Does the person understand you? Okay, so if they understand you 100%, then there's no problem with language. You know what I mean? So the main problem, we get into the second thing, is pronunciation. If they don't understand you, it's probably because of pronunciation problem. So if you're talking to a native speaker and they understand you 100%, there's no problem. Doesn't matter your pronunciation. Whatever pronunciation you have, it is correct. But if you're talking to a native speaker and they do have problem understanding some of your words, then you need to fix that. And the way to fix that is, one way is to imitate native speakers. Listen to how they say the words and you should speak like them. Now, Kirmat, I've heard you speak a little bit. I can't really comment, but I think you're okay. Hello, the wolf. We've seen you before. You're not new here. I've seen you before. Carrie Page, go to the bookstore with me, buy the same book with me, and try to read it together. It would be a great practice, share with others. Oh, Grace, so maybe we can form a book club. So, Grace, find some other members for our book club. When he has been living in Korea for 20 years, he has been living in Canada when he was young. He had been living in, yeah, that's correct. Isa, I can write quite well, but to speak, it's the problem. Irish accent so difficult. Irish accent is so difficult, sometimes I can't hear. I don't know what to say, Isa. I'm going to tell you guys one story. I got an email. I'm sure that this person is not watching. This is an interesting story. I got an email about 6 months ago from someone, and the person in the email says, I'm living in Chicago and my English is not so good. My spelling is terrible and I have an accent. So I replied to the email, well, give me, some more information. Which country are you from? And how long have you lived in Chicago? And the person replied, and they said they were born in Chicago, which means they're American. They grew up in Chicago. They're American. So I was very surprised. Why is an American watching my YouTube channel learning about speaking English? So that person explained that his parents were from Mexico illegally, and they were working in Chicago. He was born in Chicago, but he was growing up in I guess like a Spanish neighborhood where everyone is speaking Spanish. So he had a thick Spanish accent, although his first language was not Spanish. It was English from school, but he still had an accent because his parents spoke English with a Spanish accent. So he's asking me in the email, please help me fix my pronunciation. And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. He's living in America. I really don't know how, So Isa, I have the same feeling with you. You're living there 15 years, and I don't know your problem. I would have to hear you speak, but I guess you, like that other kid, or that other, he was a man now. I don't have the answers. I don't know. I haven't seen that situation very often. All right, you guys, I got to speed up. Yes, Amari. We all want to learn English. That's why we're here. Yeah, American accent is different from East Coast, West Coast, Middle. I am itchy. Or I am feeling itchy. Oh, I'm itchy. I'm feeling itchy. Both are the same. UK Android, hello. All right, the wolf. The wolf, Amari. Please, all members, help me. I am an Arab young youth. I want to learn English. So, the wolf, Amari, you have the thinking like most people. You want people to help you. You want me to help you because you need help. But you got to help yourself first. And my philosophy is when I see messages like yours, please help me. And I get them every day. I get, 10, 15 messages every day from people around the world. Help me learn English. No, I help people who deserve to be helped. And people that deserve to be helped are people who are showing me that they take the time and effort to listen to me and to practice. So, Amari, you are showing me now, at least you're watching this video, okay? You're taking time and effort to watch this video. So already you're in my good book. But also, you got to do more yourself. You got to join maybe our WhatsApp group. You got to participate. And there's people lower level than you. You got to help them. And then I'm going to see your effort. And I'm going to talk to you more because I see you're a good guy. So build the relationship. Don't just go someplace asking for help. Connect with people. Then they will help you. But good for you to be watching now. Just Chilmar. Why do Australian... Oh, yeah, I got that. Oh, you're asking the question. Why do Australian accents are hard for understand? Why are Australian accents hard to understand? Well, okay, I got to fix that up for you, Just Chilmar. So an accent is singular. Why is... And you want to identify the Australian accent. So I'm going to put Australian accent hard to understand. That's the question you want to ask. Fanny, English guys are like very well put together. What does it mean, well put together? That could mean many things, Fanny. English guys are like very well... I need more information, Fanny. Well put together? That could mean handsome. I'm not sure. I need more information. Charles, what's the difference between depend on and depend of? There is no depend of, is there? It's always depend on. There's no word depend of. Yes, there is. Let's see. I've never heard depend of. No, I heard it's there's only depend on. There's no depend of. You give me a sentence because I've never heard of depend of. If you have a sentence using depend of, please teach me because it must, in my brain, it must be depend on. Thank you, Nargis. Grace, I've been living in Korea for my whole life, and now I have problems to speak Korean. You have no problems to speak Korean, Grace. Lee Than Chuang, hi. Jacques, hi. What? Can I get your number to practice? You can join a WhatsApp group. I recommend joining the WhatsApp group, showing me that you deserve my help by trying to learn English sincerely and diligently. I will chat to you, but as a rule, I don't talk on the phone. If you want me to talk on the phone, you gotta pay, because I hate to talk on the phone. I'll chat with you for free, but if you guys want me to talk on the phone with you, or Skype, video Skype, you gotta pay. That's the line for my free help. I'll chat, but the moment I have to start talking, Grace, is there any specific vocabulary in English like some? Two guys, yeah, I know what you mean. Two guys go out together, but they're not dating. What do you mean they observe each other? And you wrote two guys. That means two men. You're talking about, if you said two guys go out together, that might be gay. They're just interested in each other. We don't have Korean language is getting worse and worse because Koreans always want to shorten the language into some cute expression. I really don't like it. It's annoying. These kind of terms like some. Grace, you might like them, but I really don't like it when Koreans do that to their own language. In English, we don't do like that. Isa, join. You gotta check the links in the description to join my WhatsApp. Anfel's gone. Bye. Halifa, I'm still doing translation in my brain. My native language to English. How to make it disappear. Time. That's where time comes in. Lots of time. Okay, Diallo's gone. Where's Layla? Layla should be here. Where is Layla? I'm going to check. My student is missing from class. Where's Layla? Yeah, guys can mean men and... Hey, guys. That means men and women. But if you say two guys... So guys. Hey, guys. Men and women. But a guy is just a man. So you have one guy, one man. Two guys, two men. Looks the same, but it's a little different. This is equal to two men, and this is equal to people. Confused? Yep. It's confusing. Jacques, hey teacher, I want to know what you do after the show. Well, I'll tell you guys what I do after the show. The moment I hit stop streaming, I have to make a thumbnail for this video, and I have to schedule the next video. And then what else do I have to do? I gotta turn off my studio lights, move this back, and then I go to bed. The wolf. Teacher, I'm very sorry. Never be sorry for slow English. Never, ever be sorry for slow English. Never. Yeah, they are, Grace, they are interested. They are interested in each other. That means they're not dating yet. Prakar is here. Li Than Chuang. Is there any trick to learn phrasal verbs? Yeah, read. Phrasal verbs can only be learned by reading. If you want to master phrasal verbs, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of phrasal verbs, it's very difficult. Do not study lists of phrasal verbs. You will never learn phrasal verbs from lists. The only way to learn phrasal verbs is through reading. Reading and reading and reading. And Li Than Chuang, you're new here. I'm the reading teacher. I'm not the grammar teacher. If you talk to a grammar teacher, they're going to be pushing grammar. I'm a reading teacher, which means I'm always pushing reading. I believe in reading. I've used reading. I've been a teacher 20 years, hundreds of students. I've taught English through reading. Reading is the most effective way to learn a language if you're not living in an English-speaking country. So phrasal verbs, I don't do this now, but about 3 years ago, I had a reading program. I taught, I think it was 6, 8, or 9-year-olds. I taught them for 3 years. In 3 years, we read through everything. At the end of 3 years, I had to say goodbye to them because I was moving my area. But all of those students, their reading was at such a high level, their speaking was at such a high level, and they understood all phrasal verbs in 3 years from extensive reading. So that's the key word, extensive reading. You will master phrasal verbs. No other way. There is no other way to master phrasal verbs. Just Chilmer, sir, I've been reading kind of newspapers and books, but when I have to speak at the time, I'm stuck. So how to repair this problem or fix this problem? Keep reading and give some more time for speaking. Remember the four skill, reading, writing, listening, speaking. We want to balance. We want to always study them together, bring them all up together. Most students, they don't have enough speaking chances. I understand the problem. Just try, man. Just try to find ways to speak. Hello, guys. Yep, that works. That means hello, people. Yeah, I don't use too many phrasal verbs. How many words are required to become a fluent speaker? Well, fluency is not about vocabulary. You can do pretty well with 3,000 words. 10,000 words, probably most situations you're okay. But if you're going to university, if you're just working and living in a country, 10,000 words is probably enough to do everything. But if you want to go to university, then you gotta have a very large vocabulary for university, writing essays, talking to other very intelligent people. So start with 3,000 words, work it up to 10,000, and then see where you are, Kareem. But you shouldn't be counting your vocabulary. Fanny, dating is just interested with someone and want to know each other, but they are not in a relationship, right? Well, that's very subtle. Do you remember that word, guys? Subtle. Now, the two sentences I just put there, we are dating, we are just dating. So there's a subtle difference, a little difference between those two expressions. We are dating could mean boyfriend and girlfriend. We are just dating means not boyfriend and girlfriend. Subtle, very little difference. It looks like the same sentence, but little difference. We are dating. That could mean boyfriend, girlfriend. We are just dating, not boyfriend, girlfriend. All right, see ya, Halifa. Jota. Win, I knew reading is very important because you said I used to study lists of vocabularies before. Yeah, Win, switch to reading. I promise you, Win. Your vocabulary will grow, but you have to be consistent. You have to read. I'm asking 20 minutes a day. I don't know how many vocabulary, but I am sure I'm weak at. I'm sure you're not weak at vocabulary, Grace. Karamat. Is there any difference between flush, fluster, blush? Yes. There are differences in how we use those words. First of all, I think the difference is going to depend on the situation that happens. So, flush, he looks flushed. Maybe some sort of sickness is happening. Fluster is more about frustration, I think. Let's see. You should bring example sentences. Yeah, fluster is more about frustration, and blush is more about embarrassment. $1,000, 2,000s. We don't say 2,000s, we say 2,000. That's 2,000 is considered a unit, 1 unit. Injustice is injustice. Is first injustice noun and second adjective? No, I think they're both nouns. So I think wherever you saw that, it's used as emphasis. If I put teacher is teacher, I want to emphasize that the teacher is a teacher. So it might be used as emphasis. Lewis, friends with benefits, just dating? No, that's a little different. Friends with benefits means friends with benefits. Friends with benefits are not dating. He is rude, he is kind of rude. What's the difference? Well, he is rude, he is 100% rude. He is kind of rude. Remember, it's kind of, so that's not 100%. That's a little bit rude. Let's say 20%. Lewis, what's the difference between stud, jock, and hunk? Where do you get these words? A jock, okay, they're all very similar, the same family. A stud is someone who's very good with women. A jock is someone who's very good with women and likes to play sports. Actually, a jock is just someone who loves sports. That's the main meaning of jock. And a hunk, from a woman's perspective, a hunk is a very handsome and attractive man. Kind of. A little bit. Sort of. Kind of. A little bit. Good for you, win, but make sure you read at your level. Louis, when do you start talking in plural when saying big numbers? We don't start talking in plural. Numbers don't use plural. You can, units can be plural. Like if I said 10,000 chickens, the unit of chickens can be plural, but numbers are not plural. 10,000 chickens. We don't say 10,000s chickens. The wolf. Teacher, what is meant? Present simple, past simple, future. These are tenses, the wolf. They're called tenses. And it's talking about time. How to express different time. The past, the present, the future. So that's grammar. So if you come, Esther teaches tenses on Tuesdays, tomorrow. Grace says, I heard that some people hold it. Well, the past tense of hold is held. A demonstration on the road in your neighborhood. Grace, Robin is a hunk. No, I am not a hunk. Hugh Jackman is a hunk. They usually have some muscles. Very man style. My style is like a little boy. Fanny, what's the difference between bag and purse? Well, everyone can have a bag. Men and women can carry a bag. Bag, there could be a backpack, there could be a bag, a shopping bag. Anything to carry something in. But a purse is only for women. Only women carry the purse. So it's the fashion item that women carry, their phone, makeup, I don't know, whatever you want to carry. So men cannot have a purse. Fanny, odd and weird. Yeah, they're synonyms. Odd, weird, and I'm going to throw in another one so you guys learn. Bizarre. Synonyms, they all mean the same. Awkward is a little different than odd and weird. It can be if you're describing a human. He is odd, he is awkward. That could work with humans. See, I suck at voca. What is voca? I hope you're trying to say vocabulary, but you're using Konglish expression. What I was complaining about earlier, Koreans shortened their language and English. It's terrible. There is no such thing as voca. Can must be past. You can do it. That's not past. Thank you, Kareem. Karamat. I feel sorry for you, or I am sorry for you. Oh, this is a very different. if I said I have some problem in my life, someone stole my car, you can say, I feel sorry for you, which means you understand and you feel my pain. I am sorry for you means that you pity me. So it's, I am sorry for you. I feel sorry for you is kind of a positive expression or a good expression to tell someone. I am sorry for you is more about pity, a negative expression. I can't think of every case now, but that's my initial reaction of those two expressions. Okay, see you, the wolf. Lewis, must can be past. Usually must have. We use you must have. What? You got to give me a sentence, Lewis. What are you trying to say? Li Than Chuang. Sometimes I I heard the sound, but it sounds like t. Very different sounds. Thank you. Tired. So Li Than Chung, before you can say those sounds, yeah, you got to practice your listening. Grace, you could have done it. It's talking about the past. You could have done it, but we're using have. The modals are not, they're neutral. They're not talking necessarily about a tense. You got to add some helping verb like haven't, didn't, aren't. You got to give something, well, to help it make past tense. You could have done it. Idioms and phrasal verbs are the same. Thanks. And agree. Sometimes they're the same, but they do not mean the same thing. So if I write, let's say idiom. It's raining cats and dogs. That's an idiom. That is not talking about cats. It's not talking about dogs. It just means it's raining a lot. That's an idiom. That is not a phrasal verb. Now, a phrasal verb like, let's see. Let's get a good one. The internet is not helping me. Well, I'll use Grace's example. Kick in some money. So kick in is a phrasal verb because a phrasal verb has a verb, kick, followed by a preposition, in. That's a phrasal verb. Kick in some money. So it's an idiom because we're not really kicking. This means to contribute or give some money. So sometimes a phrasal verb is also an idiom. They're not, but they're not the same thing. Kuramat. What's the difference between extensive and intensive? Extensive means wide and large. Intensive means strong, like intensive study. You study a lot in a short period of time. Extensive means wide and large. Lewis, I must feed the cat. Oh my Don't forget to feed the cat. That's animal abuse. Which one is more polite? Sit down is not polite. That's something an angry teacher says. Sit down. You have to say, have a seat. Please have a seat. You could say, please sit down. That's polite if you put please in front. But if you just say sit down, that's a little rude. Oh, Fanny, you were asking about a bad word. So YouTube blocked your word. So I can't talk about your word, Fanny, because YouTube doesn't like bad words. So sorry, Fanny, I can't talk about those words. Everyone is curious what words Fanny is talking about, but she's trying to ask about bad words. And the word you're asking about, I can't even say it because YouTube doesn't like me to say these words. The word you're asking about is so many uses. I couldn't even answer your question now. Sorry, Fanny. Kareem, the train had left as soon as I reached the station. That's correct. We and I suck at English. Well, the grammar in that sentence is perfect, so I don't think you have to say me sucked in. There, if you guys wrote that sentence, I might agree with you. But if you're using proper grammar, I don't agree with you. Can I use kick in instead of Dutch pay? Kick in is not so popular. I would stick to Dutch pay. And you don't say Dutch pay. You're gonna say let's go Dutch. This is the Dutch pay is a Korean thing. Let's go Dutch. Slang. Slang is that's new words. Those are new words. Every generation has new slang. So that's usually just one word to mean something else. Yeah, Dutch pay is Konglish. Yeah, Fanny, you got to ask those questions in the group. All right, guys, wow, this has been a long Q&A. I'm always surprised. Tomorrow is Esther. I'm going to wrap up in the next 2 minutes. So get any last comments or questions in. I'm losing my voice. Tomorrow is Esther. And then Wednesday is writing and Saturday is pronunciation. Yeah, Wayne, you use suck correctly. Yeah, don't worry, Fanny. Thank you, UK Android. Lewis, okay, see you. All right, guys, that's it then. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow if you join Esther's lesson. If not, Win, you better be there Wednesday, Win, because I'm talking about your emails. Lewis is going to go shopping. And wasn't it you, Lewis? You have to lend me $10. Sleep well, sleep tight. It's the same thing. Same thing, Ziad. Or it was a Ziad. Who had to give me $10? Nighty night. Thanks, sir. All right. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you in the future.